Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. So I'm going to talk about something that I don't really speak about, and I don't really get much involved in, but I'm seeing so much of it now online, which is causing so much division. But what prompted me to do this video this morning was I seen a video, and it was titled Middlesbrough, Muslims attack preachers, men who were preaching on a corner, men who were talking about the gospel. And I thought, wow, let me see this. So I clicked on it. Usually I just skip through them, when I see Muslims spitting on flags or Christians calling out Muslims. I don't really listen to it because, I have Muslim friends. Some of my friends are atheists. In the boxing gym, you have Muslims, you have Christians, atheists. We're all as one. We're all friends. There's no such thing as no one cares what colour or religion or where you're from when we're all together training. We're a team, we're a brotherhood, we're there to make each other better. Even in mass body, we've got, Pakistanis, Indians, English people, blacks, all coming to one and training, and you're like, how you doing, bro? And you're talking amongst each other. No one gives a shit what your religious background is or what colour your skin is. It doesn't matter. No one cares. I certainly don't care. But when you flick through social media for long enough, social media will try and spin the narrative and cause division to the fact that you as a Christian man as well, and I see these Muslims attacking Christians, in the Middlesbrough street, and I think, I'm going to look into this. So I started delving into it, having a little look, rang a few of my pals and said, look, what do you know about this video? And they were like, that wasn't the case, Paul. Like, I found out after about 2 or 3 phone calls that the people that were beaten up were lads who were trying to rob the shops on the corners. They walk down, if you walk down a certain street in Middlesbrough, you've got a Pakistani shop, Indian shops, phone shops, Kurds, Turkishes, you've got all these people. Yeah, they might be Muslims, but they're not bad people. Do you know what I mean? You've got all these people lined up on the Middlesbrough street, and you've got these white men coming down and trying to rob off them. So they've all got together, grabbed them and filled them in. They've just given him a few kickings, a few bats. Yeah, it was. I don't condone it. There was a lot of people jumping on him, but the title was the title of the video was Muslims attack preachers. Now you see what I'm getting at. Like, so the power of social media can divide the people. And I just think, wow, not all Muslims are bad, not all Christians are bad. It's the people that are bad. It's the person who is a Muslim that's bad. It's not the Muslim society. It's that individual. Or them individuals. There's extremists in every single religion. There's bad people in every single religion. It doesn't. We can't condone a certain religion and a certain belief just because of a group of people that call themselves Muslims, but yet be turned into an extremist or a paedophile or a violent terrorist. You can't condone Muslims for that. There's been bad Christians, there's been bad Catholics, there's bad there's bad in every single religion, but it's down to that individual. It's not down to the Muslim society or the Christian society, or that certain religion, and I just think it's social media that's causing all this. It's social media that's causing. I walk through Middlesbrough, yes, I see a lot of Muslims and I see a lot of foreigners, but they're respectful to me. Hello mate, you alright? Yeah, sound, you alright? They all seem to be working, they all seem to be earning a living. Yeah, I get it. I do stand for a little bit tighter, a tighter law to stop these legal immigrants coming over. Of course I do. There needs to be a legal way of getting these people in. I don't agree with all these illegal immigrants just coming over willy-nilly and stopping in hotels when there's homeless or English homeless men or ex-army men sat on the streets begging. I get it. I get all that. 100% I'm behind all that. But I'm not behind all this separation with religion, causing division, causing wars, Christianities versus Muslims. I don't like all that. Now I love watching debates. Which religion, Christianity and Muslims, I love all that Speaker's Corner. I love watching Bob at Speaker's Corner and, what's he called, Mohammed Hijib, or, I like listening to him around the Muslim stuff, I love it all. But I'm open-minded, even though I 100% believe with all my heart that Jesus died for me on that cross, 100%. But I come to Jesus through the Quran. You know, when I was in prison, you know, I was searching all these religions, you know, and I quickly found that all these religions speak highly of Jesus. You know, and they think Jesus, they don't badmouth Jesus. You know, Jesus was a good person, a good man. I know he was the Son of God. You know, I come to the realization that Jesus is the Son of God, and he died for me, so I can die and go to heaven. And all I have to do is accept that, and that's exactly what I did. You know, all the other stuff now is irrelevant to me, but I still like to listen to it, and it still twists my mind. You know, when I'm listening to certain things from different religions, I'm like, that's interesting. You know, it's interesting, and that's all it'll ever be to me. You know, it's interesting to know why they believe that. It's interesting to know how they come to that conclusion. You know, and that's all that it'll ever be. You know, but there's Muslims out there that I love dearly. There's Muslims out there that I care for. You know, there's Pakistani people, there's Indians, there's Chinese people, there's people from all different ethnic colours and religions that I care for. You know, so all this shit that I see on social media really does rile me up, and I think, man, you know what? If we could go back to the old times where there was no internet and no social media, the world would be a very peaceful place. A very peaceful place. God bless, guys. Take care.